Yeah, I've cut the music and we will go into the chat now. We will go into the topic. So now let me know if everything is working well. Perfect. Perfect. Now that's better. Sorry for the beginning. It was a bit of a problem. Perfect. Perfect. So, my friends, we are back from Greece. It was a wonderful traveling. We've seen so many beautiful places, so many beautiful people. And firstly, I just want to say thanks to all of you for this, to anyone who's a part of this community, because we've received so many, like it's hard to explain, so many beautiful messages from all the countries we've been through. We've been in Croatia, we've been in Bosnia, we've been in Montenegro, we've been in Albania, and then finally we've been in Greece. And we've received messages from all those different countries writing us if we could meet up. You could guide us through, food places to see the city and all of that. And we couldn't reply to all of you, but I wanted to firstly express my appreciation for your generosity, for your hospitality and good intentions. It's really, it's really nice to see how open you are. And yes, we've been traveling, we've disconnected ourselves from the internet for most of the time. And when you disconnect, if you try, some information fasting, some technology fasting, you recognize that within you there's so much of misunderstand knowledge, misunderstand insights, so much of things that need to be expressed. And I think that in this time right now, especially with this energy, it's a really good time to check yourself and to recognize what's going on in your inner world and just navigate yourself through these phases with a bit more of listening to what your inner body has to say. That's why we've been talking in today's video about the higher self. And in previous videos, we've been talking so much about our mental chattering and how to take care of it. And many of us are shifting energetically as every time I meditate these days, all I sense is just let go of any need to control, because everything is already taken care of. And today, as I was meditating, I got this interesting message that said that most of you people are working so hard to be beneficial for others, while the most beneficial thing you can do is to raise your energy, because that will benefit yourself. And as you raise your energy, you become more coherent, you become more pleasant to be around, and that's where you start influencing the field around you. And as you start influencing the field around you with more coherent energy, people around you will start to feel more pleasant and more tranquil, more peaceful, and that's a really healing energy. So as much as we are trying to be really, really good and helpful for others, we need to make sure that we are raising our energy to the level where we truly feel at peace with ourselves. Where we truly feel at peace with ourselves, where we fall in love with life once again, and we recognize that this is what we always wanted to experience. You see, most people are searching and seeking for material possessions, while at the first place, all we are searching for is certain energy to be experienced. And once we experience an energy that is pleasant, we magnetize things towards ourselves. We magnetize ideas that can help us to make things happen, that can help us to experience a life that we want to live, that may be good for us, that may bring us abundance in all the ways. So it's all about the energy work. And when we're talking about shifting from third dimensional consciousness, which is this egoistic consciousness, which is all about me, all about little me, broken me, and all of that, everything we've been programmed to believe about ourselves, how much we are capable of, or what actually we are capable of and what we are not capable of, and so on. At some point we start waking up and we start questioning all those beliefs, and that's already the fourth level of consciousness, where we recognize that maybe we are not just the character in the movie, maybe we are also writing the script for that character, but in the four-dimensional consciousness we still don't know how to write the script for the movie. But we start questioning, we start setting deeper questions, like what this life is all about, why some people are really, really rich and why so many people are broke, why some people are really happy and why so many people are miserable. And we start questioning all of that, and those are profound moments for most people. Those are profound moments, yeah. And Miss Patty from Kelly just wrote a lot of crying. Yeah, we start crying. We start releasing all that baggage we've been carrying for such a long time on our shoulders, because we thought that that's how life works. We thought that we have to be there for others without taking care of ourselves, because that's our job. Like, our job is to please others and to always be there for others. We thought that this is how life should be, but at some point we can't carry that anymore, because it's too heavy and it's too hard, and we don't want to do it, because something within you started saying to you, hey, there's more to life than what you've been taught. And you start to notice at that point happy people. You start noticing that some people are really, really, really happy, and maybe they're not living lives as ordinary people. They found a way, and you start wondering what they did differently, right? That's the four-dimensional consciousness. We notice there is a way. We may not know how to get there, but we see that there is a new way, that there is a different path, that there is a possibility for me to live a better life, to live a different life, right? This is such a profound phase of life. But some people in this phase decide not to go further, not to go into the fifth dimensional consciousness and recognize, well, I'm actually the creator of my life. I'm actually writing the script of my life. And I love the movie, I love the game in which I'm living, because I can actually influence it. I can manipulate the energies, and I can make things work in my favor, because it's not an easy job. As soon as we gain more power around it, we also gain more responsibilities. We recognize there are not just good forces, there's not just love and light, there's also darkness. There's also heaviness, dense energy that will start playing with you as soon as you start trying to manipulate the energy, because darkness doesn't want you to do that. Darkness wants you to be ignorant. It wants you to stay the same, to not question things and work as the system tells you to work. But light tells you to overcome those dark impulses and keep up with what the light is kind of inviting you to do, to recognize, to notice who you came here to be, to notice what's that seed that was planted into your soul, that you brought it here as you've chosen to come here. And start watering it, start nurturing it, start taking care of it so it can grow into who you are meant to be. That's why we have nature around us as symbolism that is reminding us how everything works. When you plant a seed, you need to take care of it and it will grow into a flower, right? It will grow into something. That's all the symbolism of what happens if you nurture something. And if you just believe into the idea that within you there's a divine seed that can grow into something that can benefit this world, you will start nurturing it as well. You will start taking care of it as well. And nobody knows what that seed is. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows what's your potential. But the thing is that that higher self, that true self that lives within your heart, knows already, knows where you are right now, knows what you have to do, and knows what is that greatest possible potential you can embody here at this time and space. That's why to get in touch with that guidance, we need to learn to open our hearts, and we can't open up our hearts if we are too distracted, because we waste too much of energy. Like if all day long you're walking around scrolling on your phone, you waste so much of energy. You waste so much of your energy with all the nonsense or whatever you're watching. Sure, we can find many good and useful and practical stuff on the internet, but most of the time, social media is designed to feed our impulses. We easily get drawn into something we were not even searching at the first place. And we need to be really careful at this time, as those dark forces are trying really hard to make you not live, or what would be the better word? They're trying really hard to make you stay where you are without building discipline for what feels right to yourself. And that's why, as we are living in this age of information, discipline and mental focus are two most important skills we can build. Through discipline and mental focus, we then learn to self-regulate ourselves and to raise the energy to the level we choose to raise our energy. When we say, oh, right now I want to tap into gratitude, and gratitude fills our hearts and our bodies and we experience it. And we just say out of nowhere, oh, I'm so grateful right now. And thank you for all the questions. We'll also get to what's your morning routine. We'll get to the questions as well. So we need to learn to raise the energy. That's why I love the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, as he's teaching people how to disconnect, how to detach from material world for a certain period of time, how to detach from your physical body, and how to get into the state of nothingness where you become nothing, nobody. And in that state of nothingness, you enter the inner world, you enter the field that offers you anything you can think of, offers you any energy you can feel. And in that inner world, you can plug yourself to any energy you choose by remembering how certain energy feels like. That's the energy work. And it means that if you can remember right now how joy feels like, you can easily plug to the energy of joy. You can imagine like all the energies are always surrounding us. Like the radio that plugs with the antenna to a certain frequency on which it receives a signal, a certain music or whatever. We can plug ourselves to a certain vibration that is already present by firstly asking ourselves how it feels like, and then we train ourselves to feeling it, to plugging ourselves to it until we become so good at maintaining it that it becomes our new natural state. And as same as the radio, each frequency is carrying information, it's carrying insights, inspiring ideas, guidance, knowledge, wisdom from all the past and from all the future. That's why when some people meditate, they can see the future. Some people can see their past life. Some people can experience all kinds of different stuff. We can connect with other beings from other dimensions, because as we detach from the physical material world, we connect with all life that exists. And usually you experience what you need to experience. Sometimes people say, why I can't remember my past lives? Because you don't need to at this point. But you may experience an insight how to change certain circumstances in your life, in a sense, how to improve your relationships maybe, or how to get yourself out of a certain challenging situation. It comes to you as an idea, and ideas are sacred. The spontaneous thoughts that come to us those are sacred things if we stop distracting ourselves. We notice, well, guidance was always within us. We were guided since the beginning. As we were growing up, sure, we couldn't take care of ourselves. That's why we have parents, and we should appreciate them and be grateful for them. Right? As they brought us here, as Plato said, we owe our being to our parents, but we owe our well-being to our teachers. So as we're moving through those phases and chapters and cycles with different rhythms of life, it's much easier if we have the right forces of influence around us. We can find them in great teachers, in great guides. Like for me in the past, when my spiritual awakening started happening as I had a job that I always wanted to have. Back at that time I was not aware, but I always wanted to work where I was working. Like it was my child dream to work at the place where later in life I was working. That was then my dream job. But even though I had my dream job, I was not for a certain time I was satisfied and grateful and happy, but I've noticed, well, it's still just a job. I still need to do what people say that I have to do, and I'm still kind of limited. I'm not free. I don't feel free. And I was working there for 3 years, I think. And one day, as I've moved to Maya, as me and Maya are together for almost 12 years, as I moved to Maya, Maya had in a shell, she had a book, Dreamers Never Sleep by Pat Mesiti, Italian writer. Story time, yeah. And I've started reading that book, and I've noticed, well, I don't need to live the life that I was told by my parents and my environment that that's how life works. I've started noticing, well, some people found a way to live a life that is really in alignment with their inner self. And that's where I started questioning, well, what I actually want to do. Because I thought that's my dream job, but I was not fully satisfied. So what I truly want to do, and that's what sparked to me a path of a research, like who I am, who am I, what I want to do, and that's what I said. We start opening up ourselves to new dimensions. Well, I'm not just this physical body. I'm not just limited by ideas that were projected to me by my environment. There's actually, what if there's a whole new life for me if I open up. So that's where me and Maya decided to quit our jobs, to go to travel, and let's travel for as long as we find what we actually want to do. We've saved some money. We've sold everything. We've sold everything we had. And what was left, we put it into our car and we went. We went to travel. And it was a bit reckless idea because we had no income, no financial income, and we had no plan. We had no safe zone. Like this is like we were not financially protected in any way, and we said, well, we will not ask our parents for anything, even though we are not coming from rich families. So we knew nobody can support us. So we said, well, if there is a force in this universe that wants the best for us and that wants us to evolve in a way that's the best for us, let's surrender to this force. Let's travel, let's see where life will take us, and let's see what will unfold out of it. And that was the beginning of our journey. So back at that time, I was reading a lot of the work of Osho. Most probably many of you are familiar with him. He was a guru, a teacher. And then I came across Esther Hicks, who's channeling Abraham, law of attraction teachings, and it became so fascinating to me. I've read all the books about law of attraction I could find. And I've noticed, well, all these people who became good with this universal law of attraction had one thing in common. And that one thing was that they've learned how to organize their minds and how to organize their actions in a way that their actions will reflect their renewed mind. And that was powerful to me when I've noticed that. So what it means? It means that, well, if I want to live a life that will be really, let's say, exciting, I want to have an exciting mind. I want to see things in an exciting way. So firstly, I grabbed a blog that I had for writing my thoughts down, and I've started writing down the things that I would like to have. I was writing them in a sense like as I already have it. I was writing it down, and I wrote down the things: how much money I want to make, what kind of car I want to have, and what kind of house I want to live, what kind of relationships I want to have. And back at the time I was not painting yet, but a sense of creativity was awakening within me. So I wrote all these things down and I put that block somewhere. I forgot about it, and as we were traveling, many synchronistic events started happening, and as I've started drawing and all of that, we were meeting spontaneously. We were in a coffee shop somewhere. We went on a coffee, and an old guy came to us out of nowhere, started talking with us, which is usually a sign that your energy is rising and awakening as random people start coming to you and opening up. So we've noticed why this guy has something interesting to say. And he started talking about art, and then later he explained that he's this really famous Spanish artist. People are offering to him like millions of dollars and euros for his painting. He was super famous and good, but he was living a simple life. But the story was, as I took it as a sign, I've noticed, well, I guess something is taking me into, or pulling me into the direction of art and creative expression. Until at some point we've noticed, well, I really want to start painting, and I couldn't paint on that traveling. So we said, well, when we will receive a sign that it's time to come back home, we will go back home. And that was so interesting. As soon as we said that, the next day somebody robbed into our car. Maya left her bag in the car, so somebody robbed, get into our car, took her bag, and listened to the story because it's so interesting. She had nothing special in her bag. Nothing special, just her documents, her bank card and ID card, but no money. So whoever did that didn't took anything from us, but she was left without this documents, and it's hard to get back to Slovenia if you don't have those documents. So we called the police, and and we told them that somebody robbed our car, took Maya's documents. What can we do? And they said, well, if somebody will report it, we'll call you back and you will get your documents back. And 3 hours later, the police calls us and says, we found your documents. Somebody threw them somewhere beside the road. A cyclist passed by and found those documents. We got them, and as we called our assurance company for the broken window on our car, they said, well, the only way to fix it on our expenses, on the expenses of their company, is to come back into Slovenia. And that was for us a sign to come back and start on our mission. Okay, some of you are writing that we have problems. Is it working? Let me know if it is working. Perfect. I hope you got everything. If it was freezing, I can't do anything about it right now. So yes, we put ourselves onto a quest of finding out what is calling us. Something interesting starts happening. Okay, let me know if is it still freezing? Is it working? Oh, I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. So a bit of the story time. And yeah, I get emotional when I think about that, because you know, as now and well, thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much for everyone. So yeah, as you go through that kind of a process, you're not the same anymore. You're not the same. You can't live a same life anymore. So you start wondering, okay, if life is truly supporting me in that way, let's see what else can I do. Let's see what else can I achieve. What else can shift for me, right? And we have to perfect. Now is better. Perfect. I don't know how much you've missed before, because I'm not sure where it started. Blocking the signal, but okay. Small child is asking, did you ever feel doubts or fears of negative possibilities while you were traveling? Yeah, of course, we had so many breakdowns. There was so many breakdowns because you don't know what will happen. You have beliefs that there is a force that is supporting you, but In real life, you're there. At some point, we were without money. We were sleeping in a car. We had no idea what we'll do with our lives. And for 3 days, we were then sleeping then there in a car, screaming, crying, going through all kinds of possible emotions we can experience. And it was not easy. It was not easy. So we had many fears and many doubts, but at some point we have to deal with them. For us, it happens after 3 days of crying and screaming and shaking and not knowing what will happen out of it. After the third day, I think, or maybe the fourth day, we said, look, we are here at that specific location there, and we have no money to go back home. But we have some stuff with us, and we have knowledge. We know something. We could find a way to maybe help someone or something. So at this point, we started creatively thinking about possibilities. And the next day, a company contacted us, a hotel company contacted us, if I could draw them offices as they are renovating hotels, if I could come there and draw their offices. And so many weird synchronicities started happening after that. But we had so many breakdowns. So it's completely natural. And now when we are seeing the world, what's happening, so many people are having those breakdowns. But those are not bad things. Those are phases of purification. All those fears have been unseen for you. All those fears have been unseen for you and have been blocking you. And when something heavy starts happening, we should actually appreciate it, because it pulls all those fears out of the wherever they were hidden to the surface, so we can deal with them. And we need to be brave enough to meditate with those dark thoughts and to see what else is actually present in our minds, what else we've been holding on to, because all the stories and thoughts and beliefs were controlling us for such a long time, and now it's time for us to free ourselves from that. So to free yourself doesn't mean that you just start doing things you love to do. It means that you also tap into your inner courage and face with your dark thoughts and those heavy emotions that are telling you that you should ignore them, that you should rather distract yourself and run away from them, and you rather face with them. Because the only way to really ascend to a higher level, to level up, is to move through the darkness and to face with us heavy dark thoughts and recognize, well, maybe it is not pleasant, and maybe I will go through some suffering and pain for a few days or maybe weeks, but I know that only if I deal with it, I will get stronger out of it. That's why they say that religion is for those religion is for those who are afraid of hell, and spirituality is for those who've been through hell. Because only when you go through hell, you know how it feels like. You know what you have to do to get out of there, because you don't want to stay there. And if you don't want to stay there, eventually you will find a way to get out of there. You can distract yourself, you can go on social media and scroll there all day long, but it will not take you out of it. You can read all the books, you can watch all the videos, but it will not take you out of it. You have to pull yourself out of it. You have to gather the right knowledge, organize it, organize your mind, organize your habits, organize your life, and then be consistent with something that is healthy, good, and beneficial for you. And as you start establishing certain routines that work for you, you will pull yourself out. And that's where we start walking towards the light. And eventually we find more things that work, and we stop doing less things that doesn't work. And that's how we get better at whatever resonates with us. And we never know where life is taking us. We can have a vision, but life has so many mysterious ways to guide us to where we need to be, but often we don't know where we need to be, so we need to be open. We shouldn't just attach to certain wanting outcome. We need to stay open. So we let the universe guide us to where we need to be. So I think at this point right now, especially as yesterday we had this new moon in that sensitive energy is just teaching us to surrender. Teaching us to surrender. To learn to be with whatever it is, and surrender your worries, surrender your needs to control whatever is out of your hands. Because if we study ancient philosophy, especially Stoicism, which is one of my favorite philosophies, because they were doers. Those people, those philosophers, they were doers. They knew that life is not always easy, but they've learned to embody practical tools that can help you to navigate yourself through the hard times, so you can flourish when the good times will come. And you can help others then to move through the hard times. Because whatever we go through, we are all on unique journeys, but we all experience same emotions. We are all dealing with similar limiting beliefs. And it's interesting, nowadays everybody is blaming technology and smartphones and everything, but if we study ancient philosophies, they were dealing with same problems. People were distracted all the time, people were lazy, people had lack of self-control and lack of discipline without smartphones and technology. So it's not an external problem, it's an internal unorganized system. So we need to learn to, the inner engineering, the art of inner engineering. Learn how to, work with the energies and learn to accept things that are out of our hands, that can't be controlled by us. But knowing that maybe I am right now somewhere where I would rather not be. And acceptance then means that you stop fighting with where you are, and through meditation and inner work you find a practical solution, a way out of there, but not through forcing. Not through forcing, because forcing creates more force. More you force something, more something else starts forcing you. So you want to create the results, but you always feel pressured. Right? For example, when I started painting was almost the only activity where I've lost the sense of space and time. And it happened with such an ease. I've experienced that what Alan Watts said, that your job in life should or he said that you should, whatever you do, it must become a form of play. So you stop working and you start playing, and then playing becomes a sense of a job for you. So you start getting paid for playfulness, for being playful, for doing things that give you a sense of joy, of something flowy, that it feels flowy. And that's what I've experienced in painting, and that's why I love to do it so much. And I think we all need to find something like that in our life, something that puts us into a flow state, because in flow we flourish. In flow we shine the most. In flow state we don't think, we don't attach ourselves to something. We just open up and become a vehicle of whatever is moving through us. And once we get to that point that we find something like that, I think life starts supporting us to move through whatever with, maybe not with ease, but we always get whatever we need to get out of it, and to get to the point where things start making results. Yeah, I'm a fluff wrote, I realize that all religion out there are the same. No one knows the truth. If God is real or not, if our existence is coincidental, we just don't know, and that's okay. All we can do is live as best as we can. Yeah, that's right. The truth is that no one knows the truth 100%. We are all kind of figuring things out, and that's the point. If you imagine, like, if you would create a game, you can imagine that if you would create a game, and in that game, with all the mystery and everything, then you would place a character into it, and you would set a goal for that character to to discover the meaning of the game without giving any rules, anything. Then that character in the game would suddenly become an adventurist who is figuring everything out. And the purpose of that character would become to figure things out. But he would never know when things are completely figured out. He would never know when things are figured out. So it's a constant adventure. And in adventure, we experience new things, unexpected things, expected things, miracles, things that seem like miracles, and everything. And that's the point. So, as long as we look on life the way that we have to figure things out for ourselves, and we can use the knowledge that comes to us from those who walked before us, it can help us to guide ourselves through it, but still we need to figure things out on our own, because nothing helps us if people tell us everything if we don't experience it, because without experiences, all the information are just a distraction. They don't help us much. They can help us to understand things better, but we still need to experience them. So at some point we need to put ourselves onto a quest. And only that way we can ascend and move higher, right? Because once we get bored with just chasing material life,